It's all good stuff, apparently. He's just taken a big, deep breath. Welcome back to the Aftermatch with Kirsten Beeve. Come for the rugby, stay for the Aftermatch. Good to have you back with us. Why have you taken a big, deep breath?
Well, it's first of all great to be back live in studio with you, Kirst. But it's never nice.
No, it's a bit uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
The Monday after.
I guess knowing what the boys are going through, and then now being in the outside world and seeing, I guess, all the velocity of backlash from media, from the public and social media.
Because people care so much.
People do care.
It's the care factor.
It is. And you never want to lose that, because if they don't care, then the team becomes irrelevant. But obviously always got to keep it in perspective, that it was a game of rugby that everyone tried their guts out in, but no hiding from the fact that it wasn't the All Blacks' best performance, and it was a loss to Argentina for the first time in Argentina.
To make light of the situation, we have to maintain a 100% record for the remainder of the season, according to your pre-season predictions of. Well, you said 100% record, but you said we could slip up once, maybe.
Yes.
We've had our slip up.
We've had our slip up, and that's fine. I never really thought we were going to slip up in Wellington, so we can just chuck that over to Buenos Aires, and now we're done.
Argentina was always going to be a little bit dangerous. Like, let's be honest, they were always going to be a bit dangerous. Yes, on the podcast, we got ahead of ourselves, and I was quickly called out about looking too far ahead at Eden Park. Maybe the boys did that as well, because Argentina, great team, not an easy place to travel.
No, and it's funny, ever since they started to beat the All Blacks sporadically, I guess over the last 5 years, they've had their 3 victories. There's been an anticipation and an expectation that they're going to win in Argentina. And I remember Mendoza was supposed to be the first time. Well, the All Blacks went and put 50 on them. Last week, there was high hopes for Argentina in Cordoba. I was over there. The locals were, not quietly, they were telling me today's the day. But I think the All Blacks did a job on them in Cordoba. When expectations, I guess, are lowered for Argentina against the All Blacks, that's when they get these shock victories. So, a shock victory, can you call it that?
Can you call it a shock? Exactly.
There's semi-finalists in the world. World Cups, you can do a lot worse and put money on Argentina to always make the semi-finals. They're a good team. They're getting better. They're getting more creative with some of their back play and more belief in their back play. And I think we saw it. I guess I was very hot and I guess in love with the performance of the previous week from Albanaz. My Spanish isn't always as good as it should be. And he gets injured in the first 5 minutes, and you think, you know what? There goes their big chance. And then Santiago Carreras comes on.
That was great Spanish.
Yeah, I just rolled in a bit more.
Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, I rolled in a bit of my sort of Southland R's in rolling there with Santiago. No R included, so I don't know why I said that. Carreras, of course. But back on track here. He played brilliantly. Yeah. He just took over. He was ably supported in a lot of the tactical kicking and in general kicking with Malia from 15, and they just went about their work, Kirst, and put in a performance which, unless the All Blacks were absolutely at their best, they wouldn't have been out of match, and they weren't at their best. There's no hiding from that. They'll be the first to admit it. And, Argentina got that historic victory, Kirst.
There's a few areas where the All Blacks really let themselves down.
Yep.
And obviously discipline was one of them, which they've had a few problems with. Is discipline just attitude? What do you read into the discipline issues?
Well, discipline, first of all, discipline's probably one of the most used words in rugby. Like, discipline can be you listening to me. And we know
I'm
you're
very disciplined.
Well, at times.
Very. More disciplined than your children.
I wonder about your discipline with me sometimes.
Yeah.
But discipline's not just giving away penalties. It's sticking to structures. It's, off-field stuff as well. But as far as the word discipline goes, in the weekend...
We're talking cards here,
We're talking cards. We're talking 3 yellow cards. And, look, in isolation, you say, Will Jordan turned. I thought the Will Jordan one was a little bit 50-50. As far as, well, another day that might have been ignored. You look at Severis's one, it was always going to be a yellow card, overlap. But when you're standing there in the heat of battle, played 60 minutes, ball goes past you, you're not just, like, it's just natural. Like, I could throw a ball at you right now and you're going to put your hand out. it's just a natural thing to do. So, I feel for them, but the reality is you can't do it. You can't get away with it. And 3 in the one game highlights it and emphasises it more. Like, in reality, the boys did brilliantly before half-time.
Well, that's it. They went into the sheds 13-all.
With 2 down. With two down.
So you didn't think that put too much pressure on the team?
Argentina, I thought, had butchered 2 try-scoring opportunities. And I was saying, obviously we were doing Sky, and I was saying to people, look, Argentina will rue that at full time. They've just butchered 2 opportunities to take advantage of the 13 men. Bodie Barrett was seen to be making heroic tackles all over the field during that time. But in the end, you wonder how much it took out of the All Blacks, how disruptive it was. And they scored early in the second half. They got penalty goals over, and they just built that lead. And in the end, once the All Blacks were chasing the game, then to have Sevu Simband down to 14 men in that last 10 or so minutes when they needed to somehow claw their way back, it just became a bridge too far.
Discipline, high balls.
Yeah.
Everyone is talking about this. And to be fair, we've probably been talking about this since late last year, the change in rules.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the high ball stuff, if you're watching the All Blacks at the moment, there's a lot going down. But I will say this, and, it's easy for people just to write or say, oh, we've got to catch high balls. There's a lot more to it than catching the ball. There's so much goes into it.
So those big pads that they practice with at training? How does that help?
You've gone a few steps down the road
you start us at step 1.
The first thing you got to do is you got to have kick pressure. So you got to go after be at the 9 through disrupting the ruck, for making it harder so that he doesn't get the perfect box kick. And I'll go into why they are getting perfect box kicks later. But you go into pressure in that ruck, and if it's the first 5 that's kicking, then you've done your analysis and you go after his foot to make his kick not as comfortable as. And then you've got to somehow, you can't do it as much as we used to do it, but the escorting. Obviously, that's been outlawed, but you can still turn your back, or you don't have to dig a hole in the ground. You don't have to get out of the way. So you got to maybe line up a few of the key chasers, and you got to block them. And then it's about getting around your guy. So a lot of the times we've got to catch by himself, as opposed to other guys working into that sort of what I guess you determine the 6 o'clock position, which is if we're playing that way, Kirsten, you're catching it, I'm in behind you. So if there's any tap backs, I've got it. And therefore, you've got the ability to secure it either by catching or after the compete. The thing about what you're mentioning is the turtle.
Because they're saying that they're practicing this at training, and they're putting a huge emphasis on it because they know it's an area they need to work on. Yeah,
so from a catch point of view, that's where that pad that you've seen on TV and on the news when they show the clips during the week that's about dominating the space. So if you can imagine, the chasers are running at full speed. So they've got all the momentum. So they're running at full speed. They can get higher than you if you're sitting underneath it. So the idea is you back off and then you come and explode into it. So you've got momentum, so you can compete from a height point of view with the opposition. And we were always encouraged by the great Mick Byrne from the AFL background to use your knee, to get your knee, to make it feel, to put it when you go up to a catch. No one coming forward at 100 miles an hour wants a knee in their rib. And
Caleb's good at that, isn't it?
Yeah, and if that's what you can do, then that A, gives you a better chance of catching that one, but B, the guy chasing it might be a little bit wary next time he's coming, and he might not be as brave in coming into here. So there's a whole lot to it. There's not just, Jordan dropped one or Rico dropped one. It's a whole team process, and why it's got even more tougher than even, say as far back as a few years ago when all that sort of stuff was saying is the escorting has been outlawed, which, okay, that's fine. But the other thing that's made it tougher again is where, and I thought it got outlawed in Super Rugby or ref properly in Super Rugby, where we were playing the 5-second rule, the caterpillar's back. Since the
got a
lines,
real problem with the caterpillar.
Well, it's ridiculous, Chris, because you can pile people on top of each other, and then suddenly your halfback is 6 metres away from the kick pressure. And anyone that's played club rugby at halfback, if he's got no pressure on him, can put a box kick where he needs to put it. Make it difficult for him. So at the moment, it is stacked in the favour of the team kicking the box kick and then chasing it, because there is nothing inhibiting them putting up a great kick and a great chase. And you've got some poor guy underneath it. Where in the past, you've been able to escort a bit more, or you haven't been able to build the caterpillar and then roll the ball back to your foot. So by and large, it's stacked there. And until someone with, I guess, an attacking mindset outlaws it in the rules committee in London or Dublin, we're stuck with it. So we've got to find a way to negate it.
So do we need to bring a Mickey Byrne type specialist coach in to help then?
Yeah, well, I definitely think, someone like Mick Byrne.
AFL background.
But and obviously huge rugby knowledge too. But as someone like Mick Byrne was outstanding for us. Touched on it on another show last night, but we had 2 weeks of this. We played back-to-back games in South Africa, 2009, and this is where the contestable certainly first was highlighted as an issue for us. And it was the year that I played the starting because DC had snapped his Achilles, and I still have nightmares about being at Kings Park and Mornay Stain and Furudapuri raining bombs down. And because you end up, as a 10, you end up in the backfield once you've kicked, you hold back. Sitting underneath them and hearing my great mate over there, Millsy, yelling out, yours!
He wasn't, was he?
Well, I'm going to say he was because he's not here. And then just having the Springbok midfield of Jean de Villiers and Jacques Fourie coming down and just...
smoking you
as you're trying to catch, with hand shaking, trying to catch these high balls from Mornay.
Did you take them?
Oh, I'd say a few went down.
Oh, no.
I'm probably pretty sure you can find a clip for it. A few went down. But what it did is it made us go away and made the coaches go away and go, right, how are we going to negate this? And that's where the formulations of lots more kick pressure, using the knee, climbing yourself, not just sitting there waiting for that high ball. That's where it became an issue. But look, it's not the boys aren't the problem as far as their catching ability. It's a whole team thing. And where you saw some positivity around this, where you can actually make some pay from it and sort of almost probably deter the opposition from doing it as much as Australia, for example. There's a couple of highlights from the weekend where Australia didn't necessarily catch the kick, but they had a guy in behind, ball comes back to him, and they make line breaks. Why is that, Kirst? Because there's going to be a winger chase hard, and then there's probably going to be one other back. And then if you can beat that other back, then you're daylight. And so there's a pocket of opportunity if you can get the ball to that guy who's in that 6 o'clock position to actually get through. And Australia did it well on the weekend, not necessarily catching, but then had guys in position to do it.
Just going back to catching the high ball, who are some of the best players right now under the high ball?
Well, obviously, coaches will tell you Caleb Clark.
And World Rugby, though.
And World Rugby.
Not just the All Blacks.
Who
stands out?
I mean, everyone has their day. There's no what a lot of people are forgetting too is what I've highlighted there as far as no escorting, these kicks being on the money. If you can't get any sort of protection, you are literally two guys in the air timing jumps and in a proper contest.
So you're saying it's lucky.
There is a
50-50.
It becomes a 50-50 ball.
But some people are better than others at plucking these balls out of the air, or seemingly
there's better kickers. Some have better kickers, which it's probably down to the kickers putting on the spot. I mean, me and you could run out there now and chase a box kick.
I'll definitely get one off you.
I have my doubt.
I go about 2 meters. You're still on the ground.
It depends if you get high enough.
I'll be putting my knees up.
But at the end of the day, it's if all that goes to plan, it's a 50-50 contest. So you've got to put things around it, i.e. the kick pressure and stuff. But I mean, most importantly, we need to get this petition sorted because it will ruin rugby if we make the box kick on the back of a caterpillar a major weapon, which at the moment it is.
So what teams will not sign the petition?
Probably any teams that make up the Lions, probably our dear friends from the Republic, and after the weekend, probably our dear friends from South America. So
basically everyone in the world's doing it except us.
So us and Aussie, probably going to Fiji.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but like Fiji's a classic example. Teams from the north wouldn't want to kick to Fiji on a unstable platform. They want to be able to get the caterpillar. They want their halfback to have the best chance to do a box kick, and they want no escorting because if you overkick your kick and give a Fijian winger time, he's going to catch and he's going to burn you. So. There's a lot of self-interest when it comes to rule making, I reckon.
You mentioned Albanoz and the injury that he picked up. Very unfortunate, but Karedes was great.
Yes.
Cortez Ratima, how worried are we about Cortez?
Yeah, I mean, on so many levels worried. Obviously, I'd actually talked to him in Cordoba, and he was just excited that he's having a couple of starts, and was having a bit of a clear run as far as injury goes. So worrying for him that, obviously it looked like a substantial injury. Like I don't know.
When you say substantial, are we talking months, not weeks?
Well, look.
I know it's hard to know.
It's hard to know.
And we're waiting for a proper diagnosis, which he'll get back in New Zealand.
Yeah, and look, we're guessing. We're guessing here. But what I noticed is he's a tough, like anyone who watches.
He tried to play on.
He's a tough character anyway, but you saw him play for 10 minutes where he was having to pass, where he was having to clean rucks, where he was having to carrying tackle. And every time he did any of that, he came up wincing and holding sort of the sternum area. I hope it's more sternum than, say, a pec or anything like that. Because
a pec bad?
Yeah, done one of those.
A pec, is that ripping?
Off the bone.
Yeah.
So that'll probably be his year if it was a pec. But if it's sternum, then we'd have to talk to the great Justin Marshall, because I think he's done one of those.
He's done a sternum, has he?
Yes.
Hopefully it's not too bad for Cortez. But if it was the worst, what are they thinking? Who are they going to? Because they're already 5 halfbacks down. They've got 5 halfbacks that they've gone through.
With Kyle
in there as well.
Yep.
Finlay was good for you?
Yeah, I thought he was.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had energy and attitude. Like he was probably our best defender in a lot of that, to be fair.
Well, we need to do our Black Magic All Black of the weekend, of course.
Yes.
So who was your Black Magic All Black of the weekend?
My Black Magic All Black of the weekend, it was a final actually between the Blues 9 and 10. I thought Bodie was very good. I mentioned how much work he did when we were down to 2, but I'm going to give it to Finlay Christie.
Why does he get the nod?
Played 65 minutes, has been on the outer for 12 months. Probably you could well have truly understood if he'd already signed and gone elsewhere. He has stayed around. He went out there. He defended his heart out. I thought his service was pretty good too. But by and large, I thought he brought a calmness and level of play that, was probably some of the others were probably struggling with. But no, I thought Finlay was probably our best All Black on the field, Curse, which is saying a bit considering 65 minutes and completely sort of on the out of there for a while.
Who was your Black Magic All Black of the weekend? Let us know. And, of course, you can be in to win an epic Black Magic Tackle prize pack.
Absolutely. We'll get that sent out to you. And even if you don't get the prize pack, of course, visit blackmagictackle.com, our great mates and great sponsors of the show.
Who was our winner last week?
Scud_99.
There you go.
There you go.
Scud_99. Send us your details. You can enter on TikTok or our Instagram page, or even comment on our YouTube when we put up the next Black Magic Tackle link. You've got some stats.
Well, I have got some stats, yes.
Are there any stats that stood out to you about that game that were glaringly head-scratching or astounding?
Because, you went away from that game thinking it just felt messy from an All Black point of view. And when you wonder that, like people were saying, well, what were we trying to do and all the rest of it? Well, when you probably are struggling with the high ball stuff, when the line out was down to sort of 70-odd%, which doesn't sound like drastic, but I guess when you look at some of our other teams, they were all hundreds and in the 90s. And line out ball, when you couple that with the kicks that we were receiving, that's what you start your plays from these days. So, for example, we kicked 18 times. Argentina kicked, they kicked close to 30 times. And so, therefore, this 30 times to start your attack. And because we weren't, I guess, either getting that in good position or getting it cleanly, that meant we just weren't able to get our game going, Kerr. So those are the stats that jumped out at me. And then I guess when you're looking at the kick side of things, and I know we'll dive into it later, but when you look a little bit further away, the South Africans kicked it 35 times, compared to our 18. So
we knew it was coming.
We knew what's coming. We know what's coming.
As long as Pollard's coming.
Yeah, and Pollard will be coming, I'm sure. The man that they go to on all the big occasions.
Okay, a couple of questions for you.
Yep.
From some listeners that I pulled off our social media channels. There's been so much debate in the last couple of years about Rieko Ioane at centre, saying move him back to the wing. Now that he's a winger, everyone's saying move him back to centre. Is he a winger or a centre, Beav?
I think
he can't win.
No, I think he's equally great at both. He's certainly in my top All Blacks backline. I admire and respect the fact that the All Blacks have had a roll of the dice here. As far as, look, we know what we can get from Rieko at 13. Is it what we're going to take to the next World Cup? Don't know. Let's have a look at, so far we've looked at Billy Proctor, probably 4 times out of the 5 test matches, and obviously Anton has had 1 crack at it, now injured. Rico is, by all accounts, still fastest All Black. So has he had an opportunity to get in the clear to show what he is capable of as a winger? Look, he's one of New Zealand rugby's public's, I guess, number 1 target. And when losses happen, obviously people, come for people. And Rico's, getting it at the moment. I'm sure he'll bounce back. Look, what way will they go in 2 weeks' time? I think we'll probably talk about selections probably more next week. But Rico will be there. And I think maybe it might depend on Caleb's fitness, if he's on the wing or if he's in the midfield or what have you, because it's all of a sudden the team was quite settled from a back point of view. And I don't think you throw everything away that you've been building for 5 weeks or 5 test matches this year because you've lost 1 and because the team hasn't played well. We didn't lose the game in the weekend because Rico was on the wing.
No. We lost the game. Argentina outplayed us in every area.
Yep.
They played blimmin' well. And someone who there are so many comments about, Pablo Matera.
Yep.
Beef.
I reckon, without a doubt, from our eyes, and obviously we don't watch Pablo every week, but that's the best game he's ever played. Like he's
played some good games.
He's played some good games, but we've seen him play for Crusaders.
Yeah.
And I reckon his involvements drift in, drift out of games. They went 80 minutes, and his carries, like he seemed to be getting fitter and stronger as the game went on. Some of his carries in that second half were just incredible. And then he started to have a little bit of a running battle with Artie. So that was quite spicy to watch. But no, I thought he was incredible. He was a catalyst for all good things Argentina. He got them go forward. What was the difference between Argentina this week and the previous week? They got go forward. They were winning the physical battles, and he was at the centre of most physical battles. I think of him. I think of, and I know our listeners have highlighted that one, but Chocolate Buddies.
You did love a wee chocolate bar as well.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah, there was a few going around the studio over Cadbury's. But Chocolate Buddies, he impressed me last week in Argentina, the headgear wearing second 5. And then he went again yesterday. It was a phenomenal performance. But if you've got a few guys in those carrying positions, leading the way, getting over the gain line, then everything else flows from that. And they did not get that in Test 1. Apologies, folks. I'm keeping Kirst up. She's been up doing the Women's World Cup. And she's yawning at some of my wonderful analysis.
I'm not
here.
yawning, but I've got a game for you just to liven things up and keep me awake here. And you can play as well watching this. So play fairly. So we're going to blind rank. You remember we did that? We blind ranked wingers one time. You know how it works. I'll give you 7 different players and you've got to rank them positions 1 to 7, but you don't know who's coming next. So play this.
Are they currently
playing?
Okay.
As I say the names, write down where you think they'll go in 7 and then post it in the comments, and don't cheat either and change your order once you know all the players. You're blind ranking loose forwards.
Go on. Oof. Okay.
Peter, Steph, du Toit.
2.
Adi Xavier.
1. I'm glad I left it there. You're so predictable.
Georgia Miller.
Oof. Phenomenal start to her campaign. 5.
Did you see her in 40 minutes today?
Yep. 5 for Georgia. Be 1 if she wins the World Cup.
Ludicrous.
Be 1 if she wins the World Cup for us.
Harry Wilson.
4.
Good on you, Hez.
Yeah.
It's high.
Yeah, well, he's in my fantasy team. And I forgot to change you out because you got injured, so bounce back, please.
Rob Valentini. I love playing this game. Look at his face.
You know I love.
I know you do.
Who's left to give 3 to?
Who's coming?
Okay, sorry, Bobby V, you're at 6. I've had him. I reckon
You've had him in your World 15.
I've had for the last 3 or 4 years.
Doesn't make it.
Tough.
Nowhere near it.
Oh, we're judging it on hot form.
Doesn't even make a second 15.
Oh.
Makes it 6 15.
Well, no one budgeted for Georgia coming in.
You got 2 to go. Gregory Aldrich.
Teammate of, I think he's at La Rochelle. 7.
You're putting the French number 8.
Yep.
At 7. Do you remember what he did to the All Blacks in the Rugby World Cup opener?
Yeah, I did.
In 2023?
Yeah. And I got told it was going to happen by his teammate, Tauru Kubala.
And it happens.
And it happened.
You've got 3 available.
Yeah. Who are you putting in there for me?
Ben Earl.
Ben's number 3.
Ben is number 3 for you. So let's go through your list.
Yeah.
Blind ranking, current, loose forwards. Number 1, Adi Savea, fair.
Tick.
Number 2, Peter Steph du Toit.
Yep.
He won't be happy with the second placing, by the way.
Hopefully I don't bump into Eden Park.
He may be here coming for you.
I'll be yelling at Adi, number 1.
Number 3, Ben Earl,
Ben
England.
Earl. Had a very good Lions tour, didn't he?
3rd. 4, Harry Wilson.
Yep. He's had a very good year. Leading the Australian revival.
Number 5, Georgia Miller.
Taking us to the promised
I
land.
don't think that's high enough.
Well, it won't be in a month's time.
Number 6, Bobby V, Rob Valentini.
I could argue that's not high enough.
Oh, that is not high enough. Number 7, Gregory Aldred, the Man Mountain from France. Would you change anything now that you know?
Out of respect for all players, no.
You'd keep it.
No, you got to keep it.
Okay, fair
You got to stand
enough.
by your convictions, even in
Tell
blind
us-
and the blind.
Tell us who you had in your blind rankings. What order did you have, and what order would you have if you were to actually rank them now that you actually know?
Bobby V would probably start moving for me.
Would he replace Harry, or
He might go pretty high.
he might go Ben Earl number 3?
He might slip up that way. Yeah.
Top 3.
Yep. Great
Top
player.
3, Lucy, in the world from that list. So many comments from you, so much instant reaction. Keep letting us know what you think of the podcast. Keep sending through your comments, your questions as well, and we'll try and get to as many as possible. There has been so many positive comments for some reason, Beef.
Positive.
We don't attract negativity. Very rarely do we attract negativity on this program, which is
Unless
wonderful,
you bag
by the
URC.
way. You.
Yeah, if you bag
You're looking at yourself.
Yeah, if you bag
You've got
URC.
discipline issues when it comes to the URC beef. But people were loving Mess last week.
Really?
Liam Messon.
Liam Messon.
You'd never fault Liam for his work ethic on the field. Good to hear him. 2 of my favourite Chiefs. Liam was ranked number 1. You were 2, obviously.
Oh, okay, thank you.
But some great comments. Osh, Liam, Messon, Chiefs Munna. Good to see him and hear him on the podcast. Chiefs Munna forever. A lot of Chiefs fans.
Good to hear you. Yeah, look, I guess you're taking Liam at face value, so yeah, I guess, yeah, good guy. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you guys
Terrible tourist.
He said, what did he say about you? You were the worst.
He is a terrible tourist.
What happened on the way home, by the way?
Oh, look, I just made sure that he was comfortable.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, he had a nice, you read into what you will, but I made sure he had a nice seat.
And where were you? Next to him?
No.
You liar.
Why do you think I haven't been able to walk straight for the last week?
Because you spent 40 hours.
Like that.
40 hours. Someone else was talking about the match day experience. You
Yes.
talked about it in Argentina.
Yep.
Murray says, remember the test in Dunedin back in the 90s where the tent village used to be massive, huge party circus tent?
Yeah.
You obviously didn't.
No, I wasn't
you
playing then,
weren't
but
there.
I knew all about. Yeah, had heard all about it. Even I think Dunedin, out of all our country, still does probably test day better than anyone because of the octagon being blocked off, and it's set up for it. I still think, like for example, we got Eden Park in 2 weeks' time, monster test match. Kingsland that road should be blocked off. You should allow the bars to probably creep in another 3 or 4 metres onto the road, and then you have a walkway down the middle, and you just have a suburb of atmosphere.
Whether you're going to the game or not.
You stay there.
It's just, exactly. It's like a party village,
Yep.
and everyone descends on Kingsland.
Yep, and if we can't get that ticked off from the bureaucrats, the council, then number 2 there should be the tent village, barbecue tables, the works. Like South Africa is one of the great test, or just game day. Like everywhere you go, Kings Park's obviously the gold standard in South Africa with the barbecues and the braais in the back of everyone's cars because they've got a massive bit of grass out the back of there in Durban. But, you know, playing in Bloemfontein, for example, there's just barbecue tables everywhere out the back and everyone's there early. So, yeah, it's just something that I think we need to be better at and we need to get – I don't think we can do it alone as a game. You got to get the council and all that on board to allow liquor and all the rest of it. But, yeah, the game day experience in Argentina was unbelievable.
I'm beginning to think you should run for mayor, Beef. Who would vote?
Do you know, funny enough, a while ago I got sounded out. Not sounded out. Someone said that they lured me into a coffee with real vague.
Who, a politician?
Yeah, real vaguely. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever, mate, I'll come along. And then all of a sudden I realised while I was there, I was getting sort of groomed to see if I wanted to go down that route.
Yeah, go where? Which route? Which area?
Oh, one I live in.
So what would that be? Would that be...
I don't even know. That's our
what catchment is that area?
Well, it used to be Port Waikato. I don't know what it is now.
As mayor of?
No, I think
Councillor for?
Councillor and that sort of stuff.
Put your hand up, babe. You could change the rules.
What a joke that would be.
Stay with us here on the Aftermatch with Kirsten B, because we're going to give you 2 podcasts this week. We're going to split it up in 2. So that is the All Blacks review done. We're going to talk about the romance of the Ranfurly Shield and review the box against Australia as well in part 2 of the Aftermatch.